Hi, and welcome to the Packer TV. I'm Dean Cooper.
And I'm Tamara Furlansky. We're here to take you beyond the headlines from the business newspaper of the produce industry, the Packer.
With June comes the possibility of severe weather, which makes growers hold their breath.
That's because as much as we want to, we can't control Mother Nature. And a little later, we'll show you the crop damage left behind by a tornado.
Here's what else is on today's show.
Michigan apples feel the frost.
California grapes are almost here.
And what exactly does specialty mean?
Grower shippers are saying the May frosts in Michigan may make a considerable dent in the state's apple and other fruit crops. Denise Donahue, Executive Director of the Michigan Apple Committee, says the committee estimates the crop will be about 75% of its normal size, which is not as bad as previously thought at 15 million bushels. Michigan is the country's third largest apple grower and in a typical year ships about 19 million bushels. Donahue says apples in low-lying areas were harder hit by the frosts, which has limited the Red Delicious variety more than any other. Peaches, nectarines, blueberries, and other fruits were not hit as hard as apples.
A series of storms spawning a tornado destroyed greenhouses in Leamington, Ontario. This caused big losses for some of the province's vegetable growers. However, staff writer Ashley Bentley says overall damage to crops won't result in a noticeable drop in product availability at retail. Dennis Dick owns Peely Hydroponics in Leamington. He says, we've got about 6 acres and 4 are basically flattened and a couple severely compromised. The tomatoes in his greenhouses are marketed by Mastronardi Produce of Kingsville. The damage was focused along the Lake Erie shore from the Kingsville area to Leamington. Early estimates suggest that only a handful of growers were involved and only a fraction of a % of the province's total acreage was destroyed.
By debating how the industry can survive tree-killing diseases and low consumption, Florida citrus leaders tried to balance the funding of critical research with marketing citrus and citrus products during the June 9th to 11th Florida Citrus Industry Annual Conference. A recent veto from Florida Governor Charlie Crist slashed $1 million in state funding for disease research that would have been matched by industry dollars. Growers declined to boost the per-box tax and approved a $53.7 million 2010 to 2011 budget for the Florida Department of Citrus. That's down from just under $57 million last year. Eastern editor Doug Ohlmeyer reports up to 575 growers, shippers, and allied industry members participated in the convention, lower than last year's record 675 attendees.
Table grape growers in California's San Joaquin Valley say harvesting of this year's crops will start in early July, slightly later than usual, but there should still be plenty of sweet, juicy grapes to go around. The Fresno-based California Table Grape Commission says growers will produce 97.1 million 19-pound boxes of grapes this year. That's about 5.5 million boxes more than last year. Pete Hronis says he's pleased with this year's crops.
We plan on starting to harvest the week of July 12th. Cooler temperatures have pushed it back about 10 days from normal. Quality looks to be outstanding.
The Grape Commission plans plenty of promotions and advertising to help retailers move more California table grapes this year.
New Zealand pipfruit importers report outstanding quality on Taylor's Gold pears and other apple and pear varieties. David Nelly, Pipfruit Category Manager for the Oppenheimer Group, says we're selling a lot more Taylors a lot earlier this year. He also says the island nation's growers were taking advantage of lower supplies of domestically grown and imported Bosc pears in the U.S. and filling the gap with their Taylor's Gold variety pears. In addition to the market opportunity with the lower Bosc supplies, quality also was helping to move more Taylor's Golds in 2010. Nelly also says Kroger and Whole Foods were among the U.S. retailers making a big push on Taylor's Golds this spring and summer.
Deciding whether a produce item is a specialty can be tricky because there's no universally accepted definition for the category. Karen Kaplan, president of specialty produce company Frida's Inc., says our products fall into a couple categories. The first category is items that used to be specialties but now are more accurately called specialty commodities. The second is what Kaplan calls true specialties, such as gourmet items. Eddie Karam, general manager for New Line Co., says the label specialty sends a message that an item is either expensive or not consistently available, many of which are associated with ethnic cuisines and may be called specialties. But they are available year-round and include mangoes, papayas, and tropical root vegetables. And you can read more about specialties in the June 21st edition of The Packer.
Well, it's time to turn the camera over to the Packer editorial board. Tom Karst is here to weigh in on the Dirty Dozen.
You shouldn't pay any notice if the commodity you market is listed on the so-called Clean 15 list of pesticide-light produce published by the Environmental Working Group. Remember, this is the same group that has plagued the industry with its Dirty Dozen moniker for more than a decade. Painting a dozen healthful and needed commodities black with implications of filth and recklessness should not be tolerated and cannot be balanced by a corresponding list of clean commodities. Both trade associations and individual marketers must resist the false assumptions and misinformation found in these dirty and clean lists of fresh produce. This is Tom Karst with a Packer commentary.
Thanks for that, Tom. Now, if you like what you see on the Packer TV, why not share it with others?
You can email it to a friend or even post it on Facebook by clicking the links beside the comment section.
We'll see you next week.